This video is brought to you by OnePlus.
In the very long and somewhat complicated history of mankind, we have had very few moments of true genius. We had Sir Isaac Newton, the inventor of gravity. Before him, people were just falling off. We had German Johannes Gutenberg, the inventor of the printing press. Before him, we just had to remember everything. And of course, who can forget Grug, the inventor of fire. That is a real picture that I took. I was there because I'm 30 years old. But of all the grand, outstanding, and civilization-defining inventions, there is one that peaks head and shoulders above the rest. Invented by the great Kenji Kikuchi, Mario Party was a massive step for the advancement of civilization. Star some of the most famous video game characters in history, take the best parts out of a board game, and then make them compete in enough death games to put Squid Game out of business. Yeah, that's a 10 out of 10. I'll take 18 of them. Okay, wait, I was kidding. Stop! As we all know, every masterpiece has a cheap copy. And in this case, there's a fucking lot of them. So today, we're gonna be taking a look at Mario Party knockoffs instead. The Maria's Quinceañera, if you will. So that we can see if anyone else knows how to party like Mario does. So without further ado, can we talk about these? All of these. Yo, man, where were you yesterday? Did something happen? Yeah, my wedding. You were my best man. I texted you like 30 times. Oh, my bad. My phone, it doesn't receive text. What do you mean it doesn't receive text? Yeah, there's no screen on it. Oh my goodness, is that your phone? Where did you get that? My dad's grandfather gave this to me. You know what? Here. Take this OnePlus 11. What does this do? What doesn't it do? It has a Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 with 16 gigabytes of RAM, making it the perfect device for gaming and multitasking. Wait, phones can play games now? Are you doing a bit? Yeah, that phone in your hands is more capable than most consoles, and it can have up to 44 apps open at once. But how long is the AC adapter? You see, mine's is like 10 feet, and I was wondering if the one that you have would let me get a little further from the house. It's a cell phone? You don't need to leave it plugged in all the time, man. Wait, really? Yeah, and with its smart rapid charge, you can go from 0 to 100% in just 27 minutes. So this is actually wireless. Whoa, were you frozen? In like an iceberg? You are blowing my mind right now. I'm gonna have to upload a picture of this on Instagram. Okay, what are you gonna... Oh my God, is that a Polaroid camera? Yeah, I said a picture. Duh. And how have you been uploading these photos to Instagram? Oh, I just mail them in. Okay, well, your phone now has a 50 megapixel camera in it and an ultra wide lens as well. In this phone? How did they fit all that? Well, enjoy your brand new OnePlus 11. If I keep talking to you, I'm gonna have a stroke. So I'm getting out of here. First up, we got a game created by Mario's arch nemesis turned rugby teammate, the very infamous Sonic Shuffle. If you haven't heard of this game, there's two very good reasons why. Number one, it came out on the Dreamcast. That console had a shorter lifespan than most houseflies. It in fact bombed so hard that you can't bring it into most airports. And of course, number two, it sucked balls and ass. But let's be nice. Let's start with the pros before we get to the cons. It had a fully animated intro which actually looked pretty amazing when this game came out. Now let's get to the cons. It kind of feels like the people who made this game heard about Mario Party through a prison phone and then tried to make it from scratch without ever being able to check the source material. I opted to play the single player story mode because I don't think there's a person within a 100-mile radius that I could pay to play this with me. Out of the massive starting roster that this game has to offer, I chose Sonic because, it's his game. As far as gameplay goes, this game stole enough from Mario Party to be a copy, but not enough to be a good one. For starters, you gotta use cards instead of a dice to move. Everyone everyone gets their own hand, but everyone can choose to use anyone's card. The downside is that you can't see your opponent's card before yanking it, so you gotta just hope that you get a good one. But here's the punchline. The AI actually knows your hand the whole time. So it kind of feels like you're playing poker, except your hand is facing the table instead. It actually really sucks to have all of your best cards taken from you all the time, because guessing is a handicap for being human. But board game wise, believe it or not, it's also bad. They wanted to add fresh ideas, so in this game there's a lot of battling, which is basically fighting a monster on the board by choosing a card higher than its health. If you win, you get a bonus item that could help you or harm other players, and if you lose, nothing happens. The enemies are all classic Sonic characters like Hairy Surfer Bro, Crazy Alien Monster, and of course, Shark with ice skates. The battling idea is cute, but you're probably gonna spend 40 minutes a game watching these animations alone. And that Shark with ice skates stopped being funny 28 minutes ago. Huh? Okay, he's still cool. Instead of collecting stars, you're collecting precious stones, which you need to win. But you don't need coins or rings to get them, you just battle for it instead. Rings are basically useless except for the shop items, which don't do much anyway. Hilarious. But now let's focus on the most important part. The minigames. First off, the minigames don't happen every turn, which is one of the weirder choices this game made because that's the point of Mario Party. That's the party. You're supposed to relax and play a board game for a little bit and then pound a Four Loko and challenge your Italian uncle to a bumper ball game of death. In Sonic Shuffle, the minigames only happen when you land on a minigame space, which completely ruins the pace of the game. Sometimes there's no minigames for 4 turns straight and you have to awkwardly sit there and twiddle your thumbs. And then other times, 2 minigames happen in a row, which should be fun, but the rings don't matter, so who cares? As far as minigame selection goes, a lot of these are actually kind of cool, or at least that's what I would be saying if the input lag wasn't 16 minutes. I don't know what frame rate this game runs on, but I'm willing to bet I could count it on one hand. There's also a lot of blatant and just worse ripoffs of games Mario Party has already done, which really fits the overall theme of this video. Like, I know that too many cooks can spoil the broth, but the people who made this game weren't even chefs. They just kind of threw random shit in there. Hot Rope Hop is a classic Mario Party game. You have to jump over a rope that varies in speed until one person is left standing. So what if we took that formula, removed the shadows so depth perception is messed up, made the camera twist around all of the players, and then also made the jump rope swap sides randomly? Well, now you've ruined it. The rest of them control horribly, very clearly favor one side, or just lack overall depth, not making them worth your time. Now here's the best part. I played the story mode because I wanted to see what kind of story this game had to offer. But in doing so, I immediately remembered why I owned this game as a kid but never played it. Not only is the AI absolutely cracked and capable of cheating you out of all of your best cards, but after playing this level for a whopping 1 hour and 40 minutes, I ended up losing because Amy perfectly stole the card she needed to take the last precious stone and win. I laughed it off because who cares? The round was over and I could just progress in the story, but then this screen showed up. Game over. Try the stage again? Look, this took me nearly 2 hours, and now you're telling me that all that work was for nothing because the AI cheated. Sonic Shuffle, more like Sonic shut the fucking console off. Next, even though this game was quite bad, it was kind of expected and somewhat smart to make a Sonic the Hedgehog spin-off. I mean, he's Sonic, come on, who doesn't like Sonic, huh? Of course you're invited to the party, little guy, get in here!
Alright, let's blast through with Sonic. Oh, hello.
What the fuck is Shrek doing here? Shrek's Super Party is as bare bones as it gets, which doesn't really matter if the bones are good, but these are not. There's a bigger roster than Sonic Shuffle, so congratulations to Shrek Super Party for reaching the bar, even though it's way down in there? Even though it's a Shrek game, none of the characters are voice acted except for the announcer. And I don't just mean in the gameplay, I mean at all. It makes the intro scene just feel so off-putting. Ugh.
A misunderstood ogre, a beautiful princess, a lonely...
They also went for this weird chibi style, but they didn't really put effort into it. It just kind of looks like they took the head slider and bumped it by 800%. Hey guys, it's me, Scooch from Scooch Super Party. I hope you enjoy my game. Okay. It just feels like this game's developer, Mass Media, made this game and then found out they had the rights to Shrek 4 minutes before launch, so they swapped the assets. But it's the board game section that really confuses me. First off, there's no stars or precious stones that you have to collect. Instead, in this game, you're collecting the, hold on, let me read that. The precious drops of bug juice. Okay, these are in fact the only thing you're collecting, and can't really be used on anything either. There's only one board in this game that has a bunch of different realms in it, but since there's no big star to fight over, there's practically no reason to interact with one another, which is like the reason the board game exists in the first place. There's 5 different realms on the board, each with their own unique minigames and vibes, but since everyone has to play, it doesn't matter which one you go to. The only reason you go into these is to collect the precious bag of bonus, the bonus bag of precious bug drops at the end of them. Okay. This means that by design, everyone is going to split up and go for their own bag and then probably never see each other again. That's not a party. That's waving goodbye to your children when they move off to college. I'm surprised they don't play a sad anime OST. It all seems so unnecessary, like there's no rhyme or reason to any of it. What's the point of playing a board game if I can't even kiss my homies? Also, you think Sonic was getting cute by making you use a card instead of dice? Well, check this shit out. Yeah, I don't know what I'm looking at either. They added this weird match 3 mechanic as well. That's just so weird and cluttered and unnecessary. So after a minigame, the 2 top spots get to swap bugs around on a board, and the person who was first place goes last, meaning you could swap up to 3 bugs to get the best match of bugs for the round and therefore score the most points. Yeah, like, right? Just give me the points. Like, why do I gotta play this? Though it's not as bad as Sonic Shuffle, this game has a lot of moments that just don't matter. I think the board game section and the big head aesthetic was just to fool moms into buying this for their 5-year-olds when they saw it at a Target or something. They see this cover and go, oh, me and Jimmy saw Shrek together. This will be fun. I don't know how to do a mom voice. Maybe we don't keep that in. I'll let you decide. The mini games don't hold up at all either. They're all very basic, and since the characters don't speak at all, it ends up being this weird combination of goofy cartoon sound effects. But still, I played out the entire game because I was excited to see the ceremony at the end crowning a victor. But as expected, there's nothing. Oh, wait. What? There really is nothing at the end of it. The same screen that I've been looking at all game pops up again, only this time there's 2 lines of bonus text at the top. Wow, thank you, Shrek. That was a super party. Please get the f out of my house. Okay, so like, is the door open? PacMan Fever is a game that I always wanted to play as a kid. I mean, sure, deep down in my heart, I knew it was gonna be a Mario Party clone. But just look at Pac-Man. You could tell him that his kid got hit by a car and he'd still show up grooving. And PacMan Fever came with a lovable cast of Pac-Man characters. We got Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man, Tiger, Astaroth, and Heihachi from Tekken. This game is probably the most straightforward of the bunch. The board game section is linear, where everyone is just trying to get to the end as fast as they can. There's different boards to choose from, but since they're all linear, I think It doesn't matter. Instead of a dice, your movement is based on how well you do in the minigames, which at least makes them worth something. There's no stars or objects in this one, except for the tokens which you can use at shops to help yourself or harm others. Again, just like Shrek, this board game section is completely unnecessary. There's almost no interactions with other players or the board itself because it's a straight shot to the end. Since the main goal is to just win minigames to move further, why not just remove the board section altogether? Like, there's just no reason for all of this. But do you want to know the most confusing part? When I was playing PacMan Fever, I kept getting the exact same 5 or 6 minigames. Thinking that I was just unlucky, I played again and got the same 5 or 6 minigames. But that's when I realized something so stupid. The minigames are locked to the board that you play. And since I only played the space board, I kept getting the 5 or 6 space minigames. This concept isn't bad if there's 100 minigames to choose from, but there isn't. So you're stuck repeating the same exact 5 or 6 basic minigames for however long you decided to be stuck in this layer of hell. This game has less minigames than Mario Party 1, which was on a 64 megabyte cartridge. How the fuck does a PS2 game with 4.7 gigabytes of space available on the disc have less minigames than Mario Party 1 by nearly half? Like it's so lazy and bad. Another massive peeve of mine is that there's no way to practice the minigames. So if you happen to be playing it for the first time, good luck, dumbass, because this AI is ruthless. AI? More like, ay, me duele. That joke sucks. It's almost as bad as the Shrek title, but I really can't tell which one of these two is worse. Like, who would even make mass media? Wait, so both of these games were made by the same dev team and released within a month of each other? Did the devs not get to eat? Was this made in a prison? Like, what the heck is even... I need a break. Maybe I'll go on a cruise to get my mind off of things.
I'm dancing, bro!
Oh, please, no. Next up, we got Muppets Party Cruise. If you ever wondered what a Muppet Mario Party game would look like, I want you to go ahead and pat yourself on the back for being one of the 4 people on this planet that this game was made for. If I could explain this game in a single word, it would be excessive. There's so much happening every second of this game that after playing it, I almost felt like I just got out of a street fight. Instead of rolling a dice or picking a card, do you want to know how you move in this game? I'm so overwhelmed by this game. Gore. The pace of this game doesn't let up either. There are so many bells and whistles that you'll think you're at a bells and whistle store. Like, that's not even a joke. I believe that this game is loyal to the source material, but I'm not sure because I'm not 5 years old. The characters actually do speak in this one, and they're actually voiced by some of the voice actors in the movies. Do you hear that, bud? They got some of the official voice actors from the... What do you care? You still shit your pants. The board section in this one is robust. There's not really a map at all. You just kind of walk around a room, which I can do in real life. Your objective in this one is to collect 3 party favors of the same color in order to win. To collect party favors, you have to walk through colored doors to get a chance to win that specific color. It can either be through scoring the highest in a minigame or just an auction. Now, I know some of you may be asking, but Scooch, what's the difference between red, green, and blue party favors? The color, dumbass. Needing 3 of the same type is such a weird gimmick, but it kinda works. You can re-enter already used doors to try and win party favors back from other players. And the fact that auctions exist mean you actually want to collect the boat credits wherever you can. You can also use your credits to start minigames with a higher score, which gives the rich players an unfair advantage. And like, we get it, Muppets Party Cruise, you're trying to be political. This game is just so cluttered. There's characters that spawn on and then they don't explain it. There's a bunch of noises and graphics on screen at all times. Like if I showed a picture of this game to an ancient civilization, they would either stone me or make me a god. The minigame selection though is actually a massive step up from the other games. Not all of them are great or innovative, but some of them are worth playing. And one of the features that I can't praise enough is the practice button, which is such a genius idea that allows you to try out the minigames first without the stakes. Crazy how this game came out in 2003 and is the first knockoff to add a practice button, which was in the original Mario Party from 1998. I'm shocked that I'm saying this, but Muppets Party Cruise is actually okay. I mean, I wouldn't choose it over Mario Party. This is more like getting a wedding invite from a distant cousin that you've only seen once in your life. You'll go, but you're not gonna dress up for it. At least these devs seem to care about their final product, unlike the assholes who made the other two. Who made the... Mass Media? Again? This team somehow created 3 full Mario Party clones in the span of 13 months. You thought Game Freak was bad at rehashing the same title? Crazy enough, Mass Media continued to make video game titles and even released a game in 2022. What else did these guys make? They made Saints Row 2? They made Darksiders? They made Saints Row 2. Next up, we have Cartoon Network Block Party. I want to review this game as fairly as I can because as far as I know, it's the first Mario Party type game to come out on a mobile console, the Game Boy Advance. And with that being said, this game is terrible. If PacMan Fever was bare bones, then this game is just the marrow. In order to win, all you need is a certain amount of trophies and cash. Trophies you get from winning first place in a minigame, and cash you get from the map and also minigames as well. Once you have what you need, you gotta walk back to start, and that's how you collect your dub. This game actually has different boards to choose from, all with branching paths. But again, it's all kind of useless because there's no stars, so there's nowhere you're really trying to go. But here's the weirdest choice about this game. It's not multiplayer. I mean, it is. You can take turns and play with other players on the same device, but all of the minigames are single player. That's not a party at all. That's solitary confinement. It's like one of the worst things you can get in prison. This format especially doesn't work on a mobile device because what are you supposed to do when it's your friend's turn? Awkwardly peer over his shoulder like a jealous girlfriend? It's just kinda awkward. And you'd think that the games being single player would mean that the devs could actually sit down and get real creative with them, but spoiler alert, they don't. And instead of making something great, all of these just feel so rushed and awful. For example, in this minigame, you have to run around a gym and collect as much cash as you can without getting hit by the weights. But in this minigame, you have to run around a dance floor and collect as much cash as you can while avoiding the dancing moles. It's just so insane to me that in the world of Mario Party ripoffs, this game managed to rip itself off. There's also some minigames that just don't have your character in it, like at all. I think the most annoying thing from this entire experience is knowing that the original Mario Party was so good. I mean, sure, some minigames needed work, and you would rip off so much skin from the palm of your hand that it would look like you're auditioning for Passion of the Christ, but as a whole package, this game was amazing and came out half a decade before most of these. The reason why that's such a problem is because all of these games were blatant ripoffs, but they didn't copy the things that matter. It's like they copied Mario's homework, but they were afraid of the teacher finding out, so they swapped up the answers and failed the test. I also played all of these by myself, which is depressing because this is the saddest genre to do that. At this point, I was just exhausted. The majority of these games were just broken, terrible, didn't work too well, and it just kind of felt like I was in a never-ending bootleg Mario Party match. And that's what I thought about it. Maybe the reason they all suck is because they're so old. Maybe I'm just looking too far into the past to play a Mario Party knockoff. And instead, I should try something that came out recently. So I did a bit of research and played the most recent Mario Party knockoff at the point of writing this video. For our final game, let's try out Garfield Lasagna Party. Lasagna. This game not only cost me $30, but apparently it's like Dark Souls 2. That's a sign. I don't know what it means, but it's there. It's also sitting at a whopping 50 reviews on Steam, leaning towards very positive, which is fact. As we all know, Steam reviews have never been wrong about anything ever. So let's try this sucker out. It came out in 2022. Surely C-tier Mario Party ripoffs learned something in 24 years, right? Right? The main menu is about as bland as a McDonald's Happy Meal. There's Lasagna Race, Lasagna Challenge, and Lasagna World Tour. Unfortunately, there's no Lasagna Dictionary, so I can't lasagna figure the fuck out what any of this means. The roster is exactly 4 characters big, which is always kind of a bad sign because it means they put the minimal amount of work they had to. But if that's not bad enough, none of the Garfield characters are voice acted at all. In fact, nothing is. There are no voices in this game. I don't even think Garfield is that popular these days. They couldn't find anybody that sounds like the Garfield characters. Odie is just a fucking dog. Find a dog. There's even a mini game with John in it, but all he does is gasp. I know it sounds like I'm being nitpicky, but this game cost me $30. I think I could pay for the voice acting in this game for $30. Now let's talk about the game. There's only one board here, which is already a major disappointment. As far as clones go, this one is the closest to Mario Party. You roll a dice to move, and there's a mini game at the end of every turn. There's even branching paths, but again, they don't mean anything because there's no star to chase around. The one thing this game does kind of get right are the items. They can be used to buff you or harm others during the roll phase of the turn. It's pretty neat, but it slows the game down to a crawl because you have to look at this 4 times per round. The mini games also control better than every other game on this list, but it doesn't matter because they're so basic. Like timing button inputs, or this music game that is literally over 2 minutes long. Did you guys not know how to cut down the royalty-free song you found? There are 32 minigames, which is less than the original Mario Party, only 4 characters to choose from, which is less than the original Mario Party, 1 board total, which is less than the original Mario Party, and the list goes on. There's not even a victory animation when you win. It's the same animation as when you win the minigames, only this time there's a curtain behind you. I very rarely use this word, but I think it perfectly defines what this game is. Garfield Lasagna Party is soulless. It was very clearly created to make a quick buck off of out-of-touch parents who don't know any better. There's nothing to unlock, no online play in 2022, and no real reason to keep playing this game except for the fact that it cost $30. Pummel Party, an actually good Mario Party clone, costs half of that. Did they really think they could get people to buy this game just because it's a Mario Party clone? What kind of stupid money-wasting moron would do that? Son of a bitch! I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I, again, played all those games alone, so this has been the most depressing week of my life. Also, very quickly, I wanted to say thank you so much for 400,000 subscribers. You guys are awesome, and it's been a while since I hit a milestone. I don't want to get too sappy here, but I spent a lot of this year trying to find my place in this little area we call YouTube, and I think I finally found a direction that I'm comfortable with, and it just makes me happy that all of you have been so supportive with the new content. It's genuinely been so amazing. So thank you. These games may not have been a big party, but I hope that you can join my party by subscribing to the channel and ringing the bell so that you don't miss a banger like this one. I think that's all I gotta say. Thank you for watching. Love ya! I don't know what my editor is gonna do with my body right now, but he always does something, so I'm just gonna sit still to give them time to do what they want for this outro screen. Okay, bye!